Hey, how you doing? This is Peter here with the McKernan Group. So I want to talk, so it's 2021 and we're dealing with a lot of issues with buyers trying to get into homes and win out offers. So I want to go over a couple of fundamentals going into it outside of just offering price, right? We just accepted an offer. It was, mostly price, but a couple other things that really backed up that offer to make that happen for those buyers. It was on a listing that I had. They ended up going over all the other people. However, they communicated towards, what I thought was going to be potentially the winning price or close to it. So there was a direct line of communication between myself and the buyer's agent. At least that one, there was 5 offers on it. So the other ones were somewhat engaged, but they weren't as engaged as this one. Also, they had as a buyer, so that's the checklist for the agent. But as a buyer, there's a couple of things to look at and also coach your agent through if you're working with an agent and they may not know these couple of things. So one is to have some cash in the bank. I mean, I know that's definitely hard for some people, so maybe get some type of help by a family or friend or relative and make sure that that's backing you up. And also add in those funds that potentially could be, a mutual fund that's going to come due in the next, pretty soon, or maybe you're going to take from that. So make sure that all those accounts, you can redact all the information that you want to, account numbers, addresses, names, stuff like that. However, provide that to your agent that's going to help you on the buy side. And then, so you need a lot of money in the bank, because what's happening is the property's appraised down here, and then you have to reach to get to that price that you offered, and you're most likely taking that appraisal contingency out. So what makes me feel comfortable as a listing agent is that money being able to meet the difference between where it's appraised at and where your guys' offer is. So those are things to think about, and then also talk to your agent about. And then also the second thing is removing all contingencies. If you want to leave one in there, I would definitely leave one that's going to be an inspection contingency. So, and maybe reduce it down to 3 to 5 days, and make sure that you are approved completely, underwriting approved and underwritten by your lender. So find a lender that can do that. So as soon as you hit escrow, you're good to go. They feel solid with it. They just need to do some back end stuff and ask a couple more things. So you're good to go, and you can remove vast majority of the contingencies. You can leave a couple of things in there, like a contingency for checking the title, and then also checking the HOA docs, that if it is in an HOA, you can check those docs. So there's 2 things in that, removing those contingencies, just to look out for. Keep that inspection contingency in there and just very, very low. Also, the third thing, just put in there sold as is on the offer. You're not going to ask for any repairs. I know that's hard hitting, especially when it's buyers going into the purchase, and you're still doing an inspection. You can still do that inspection, get that inspection back within the first couple of days. And if you see something that's alarming, like the roof, it needs to be replaced in a year, then you can pull out of that. But you can't really ask for anything once you put in the offer. However, those offers, I feel as a listing agent, would be able to be accepted easier than another offer that doesn't have that in, and they're not going to put that in going into escrow. Also, another thing here in Southern California, within that inspection, take out any type of conversation about doing the termite. Make sure that that's out of there, because that can cost a seller $1,000 to $5,000 depending on how big the house is, if it needs to be tenanted, and when the last time there was treatment on that house. So those are 3 things to keep in mind when you're going into escrow. And then obviously, 4 would be the cash offer, not cash offer, but how much you're going to offer above that price that they have it listed for. And that's going to come back to your buyer's agent having a conversation with the listing agent. So those 4 things. So just to recap, one thing would be to make sure you have a lot of cash in the bank, and you're talking with family, friends, also relatives, to be able to provide you that. And then removing those contingencies. So that's huge, removing the contingencies as much as possible, being sold, as is. And then also, going up above most likely asking at this price, at this stage in the game, especially here in spring 2021. So if you are watching this around this time, keep in mind it's going to be a stretch sometimes depending on your price point. So I would go into it knowing that you're going to have to fork out some more money, but know that you're going to fork out some more money in a specific area of that city that you feel comfortable with and you want to live there for the next 3 to 5 to possibly 10 years. So things to think about. If you have any comments, leave them below, and then also, if you can, subscribe to the channel.